Hi, Chapter 4 Test Automation. Now let us see what is test automation. When the test cases are run and checked, the coverage and the quality of the testing will definitely improve. But one way to overcome the challenge is to automate the running the most of the test cases. So, developing software to test the software is called automation. It's a bit confusing. That it a software to test a software, that means there is a tool, there is a software which will test, which will test your product automatically, not manually. You don't have to make the test cases, you don't have to make, of course, you have to make test plan, you have to make test execution process, the entire the test report, all of the things, test case sample, everything you have to make. That is manual. But what is what is to automate? That means there's a tool which you have to just write the test code and execute it and find out whether your test cases are correctly, approximately made of or built up. So, test automation can free engineers and they can do some of the creative tasks. The creative tasks is include your test planning because test planners have to think the resource available to them, the people available to them, the time, the process, every detail they have to think, and they have to think about the environment, the first and foremost about the tool in which they will execute. So they have to think some creative way to cut the work in short because your time is more important. When your deadline is near to you, you have to think in a creative way how you can optimize your work. So automation saves time as software can execute test cases faster than human do. If I made the test cases manually and I try to execute it, I have to just think and write those test cases and I have to just answer them whether they will pass or not. But by executing in a automation, by doing it through automation, it is for sure that it will be not so time consuming. So you develop additional test cases to achieve better coverage. Then you perform or specialize tests, some other tests you can do, and you can perform extra manual tests also. Automate tests are more reliable. Yes, when an engineer executes a particular test case many times manually, he or she has to face of chances like a human error or he or she is biased. Of course, if I have an enmity with a developer and I'm biased, I will try to generate those errors and I will show out false implications of the errors and I'll just give to the test manager. I'll see and I'll say to him or her, see, this is the results, these are the negatives or the errors, the mistakes I found in the code. You better ask those developers to fix it. So this should not be done. This is very bad in nature. You should not be biased. And because of this, it it delays your product or it delays in your phases. For each and every phases get delayed. As with the machine oriented activities, automation can be expected to produce more reliable results every time. Then you have automated helps in immediate testing. So let's see how it helps in immediate testing. That means automation reduces the time gap between the developers and testing. As the scripts, yes, you have to write the test scripts which can be executed as soon as your product is built up. So automation can be designed in such a way. See, automation, it's you don't have to design. It is designed in such a way, it has been designed, as I say, that it's really the test can be kicked off automatically after your build is over. Then automation can protect an organization against attritions of test engineers. That means automation can also be used as a knowledge transfer tool to train or the test engineers who are working on this tool. First and foremost, the tool which is being used, the test engineers are being trained for so that they can use it more comfortably. Otherwise, it could be like they're learning and they're working, they're automating those test cases. It's kind of increases your complexity, it increases the time, manpower, or you say it increases a resource which ultimately costs your company. So, automation can be used as a knowledge transfer tool to train test engineers on the product. With manual testing, any specialized knowledge or undocumented ways of running tests get lost with the test engineers leaving. Soon the test engineer leaves, what happens is the knowledge is also goes with him because there is no such documentation to maintain it. So when the test engineer perform any tool automations or the test or any automation tools, there are documented procedures. They are documented so that this can be used in a history. This can be treated as history, and this can be used where the next test engineer uses the same resource, like same automation tool with the same case study, not the same, but ultimately can be the same. Then automation, let's say what is the next? Then test automation open up opportunity for better utilization of global resource. So manual testing requires the presence of the test engineers. But automated tests can be run around the clock, like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They also require a team in different parts of the world. If I am in a Bangalore and my other team is in a Mumbai, so I can do my automation testing anywhere, any place, anytime. There is no such time boundary or resource boundary. Then, certain types of tests cannot be executed without automation. So, the test cases for certain type testing, such as reliability testing, stress testing, or load and performance testing, cannot be executed without the automation because we require this automation tool will help us to identify the results of all this testing which I just mentioned. Then automation means end to end, not the execution alone. That means automation does not end with developing program for the test cases. That is it where it starts. It starts with the building of the test cases. Then it should consider all activities such as picking up the right product, then choosing the right configuration, performing installation and running the test, gathering the test data. That is also important. Then you analyze, then you find out the defects, and then you create a defect repository. That means you are creating a test database to ensure that all the information which you have done previously in the testing phase is maintained in some kind of database. So that we say as a repository. So when talking about automation, there should be a picture should be come up in the mind that from the right configuration, performing is I'm repeating again. So the right configuration, performing the installation, running the test, generating the right test data, analyzing the results, and filling the defects in the defect repository. Then test automation efforts should must be planned, documented, monitored, and measured. This is because this has to be, as I said, that person it goes with the person, so it should be in house. It should be available to everyone. So that's why the automation should be planned, like which tool to use, what kind of tool to use, what I'm supposed to do when I have this kind of a database. I mean test case available in my database of test case. So what kind of tool or automation should I use? And documentations like whatever process I'm doing with the help of automation tool, it should be noted somewhere. It should be written somewhere so that this procedure can be used by another test engineers. Monitored should be checked at each and every interval and it should be measured like it should be given to your quality. The quality team should also be assured with those automation tools. Then next topic we'll see next time.